Right, now various nurses bodies in Kenya are calling for the harmonization of the profession across counties such that all nurses are treated equally. Now, to find out about these demands that they're making to the Attorney General and to the Council of Governors, we're joined by Jeremiah Maina, who's an aspirant for the Secretary General of the Kenya National Union of Nurses. Thank you so much, sir, for making time for us. So first of all, tell us about what the demands are in terms of harmonization.
Thank you. The few demands are what we got from the Constitution, and that is fair labor practice. And if I would want to talk about the health sector in this country, one, I would say that for us, all of us as Kenyan, we must understand, anybody talking about devolution was born before devolution. And anybody who was born after devolution never voted for devolution. So that calls for us to talk too much about why did we vote for devolution, and it is just one of the social contract for social protection. And to achieve that, health becomes key. Education is another thing. So when I talk about health, then you find we have a lot of disparities. And for us to achieve the universal health coverage, then these disparities must be done away with. And what we are talking about is from registration. What are the laws that were there before devolution came that are not consistent with the current dispensation? And that is one of the things that we have talked in terms of harmonization, so that health becomes affordable, and not only affordable for the Kenyan, but even for any investor. I would say that health is quite overregulated, and we are finding as nurses, we are the greatest investors in health. Apart from providing health care, we have majority of the clinics across the country. But you will find that we have so many licenses, and when the counties came, then they started also charging us another expense. So that is one deterrent, and that is one of the things that we are talking about. Can we get the waiver? Because we are investing in these counties. That is one of the things, because you'll find that the nurses clinic are in the remotest areas where anybody not can achieve. That is one in terms of regulation that we are talking about. And this one can be achieved by maybe introducing something like nursing levy. Right now we are the people who support nursing council through our own fee. So what happens? We are charged, students are charged exorbitant fees, and as for who are practicing, we also charge some other fee. But the government needs to chip in, every Kenyan needs to chip in, so that we get a stronger nursing body that can protect the Kenyans through that. That is one of the areas that we need. We have health laws like the Public Health Act of 1942 that needs now to be shaped to come into the current dispensation. We need the classification of the hospitals. Today we are finding that we have level 4. But what do you mean by level 4? What do you mean by level 5? When you say you have a level 3, what do you mean? Because it's not just a name, there is some other things that need to. And that is what we are telling the Attorney General. We need to sit down and harmonize that. The other thing is issues of the labor laws, and you will find that the latest labor law is 2007. It is still inconsistent with the current dispensation, and that is why you are finding a lot of industrial action. And we need and I'm sorry to say that the trade unions of before cannot fit in the current dispensation. We are talking about productivity at this era. Maybe that time they used to talk about mass employment and that. But for us as nurses, we need equal pay, equal work. So productivity becomes very key. And I'm happy that today employers are looking at that. So we require those laws changed so that even the workers can get the value of their contribution to these trade unions. In terms of democracy, you will find that to me, trade unions before were part of Human Resource Department. It was like an extension of the Human Resource Department, where they come and collude to deny workers their own justice. But today we are having a robust employees who know about why they must contribute to a trade union. They must vote. You will realize that we have never had the voting pattern. We only hear at the end, this is the Secretary General, but you'll never hear any union publishing its own account. So you'll find that there used to be a lot of secrecy in trade unions and trade movement. So we are telling that this is not the current dispensation that we want. We want where nurses are heard, and one of our petition is we need to change even the structure of it. If you find the current situation, you'll find that the Registrar of Trade Union is a referee and a goalkeeper. He's the one who will say who can buy, and he's the one who will say this is the person. So we want to change that and ensure a lot of transparency and accountability. That is in terms, and once we do that, then we shall help the counties, because counties not seem to understand the labor laws. And when talking about this, I'll talk about the issues like Pumwani case. We talk about the nurses in Nairobi who are not being paid. Why are they not being paid? Because the county and the trade union seem to collude to a constructive dismissal of these workers. One, how did the county entertain a union that it does not have a recognition agreement with? Because that is the first thing. The second in, how did the union call a strike when in a county it did not have a recognition agreement? And you see now whoever serves is that nurse who is there who does not know about this repercussion. And then they are told you go to court. Our judicial system is still slow, and I'm happy that the Chief Justice is trying to clear that. So you'll find that the moment you are taken to court and the employer and the union goes to court, you are not earning a salary, and 1 year, 2 years, that is the social justice that we are saying. You are denying this person, and he is subscribing to this. You never negotiated, you did not have, because Article 41 is very clear. Every employee has a right to go on strike, but every employer and a trade union have a right for collective bargaining agreement, not to go on strike. So basically you will find that most counties, but I'm happy that counties now are adapting this, and they are realizing that there is need first to get a recognition agreement. First know who is this union, how many members do they have, and then the other thing that used to be there, and we are talking about, and this is why we are talking to the Attorney General, is where that freedom to enter into a trade union. Because people used to go, I come and talk with your HR, and everybody in Citizen belongs to my union. That is the end. And you are told you belong to this union because you work here. But we are looking at it that can it be stopped so that people apply. That liberty, that is a freedom enshrined in Article 36. And people are able now to participate because they did apply to join to this union. So that is another thing, and that is why we are telling the Attorney General, you must wake up, because as nurses, when we go on strike, it's not like teachers that will come to teach tomorrow. It is not like plantation workers that tomorrow you can come and harvest. People die. So basically we must have a robust engagement, a clear way of dialogue. And I'm happy that we have sat with the Council of Governance and understand that there are standard norms that must be. One, if it is promotions, once we agree in terms of promotion, a nurse working in Turkana and a nurse working in Kwale is the same. That is a national security issue. Because the moment you create these disparities, then you are denying that Kenyan in Turkana quality service, because you're saying, why is my colleague in Nairobi being promoted and me I'm in Turkana just by the virtue? And one thing that we need to understand is that most of workers were there before devolution came. So basically we had the same training, we had the freedom of movement from every part. That is what we signed. But now when the devolution came and transition period is coming, then you are told you must work in Turkana. So we are finding that we need these standard norms being implemented, and these are not some norms that we have not agreed upon. These are things that we have gone to intergovernmental, they have gone to the summit, we have agreed, but you'll find that one county is dragging behind, and we are telling them we are serving Kenyans, and the money that we are using is taxpayers' money. So those are key issues that we are telling them that we need to. Then the other issue that we are talking about is infrastructure. And I would say that successive government, from Moi time to Kibaki era to Jubilee government, we have seen a successful and progressive investment in health. But if you check on it, underlying that, then we require skilled human resource, specialized. Otherwise, you are going to read as functionary illiterate, because the moment you bring for me an ICU machine I'm not trained in, then you are telling me is like you are putting healthcare on autopilot. So basically, we are telling them, yes, we have that 8 billion. Can you give us 2 billion to train? And these are scientific figures. For if you want to create 100 bed, 5% must be ICU HDU in any hospital. That is standard. So, and once you create an ICU bed, for every bed you must account like for 10 nurses specialized, because of the duties that we have. Because for every patient in ICU requires 2 nurses at every given time. And it's not just nurses. You require a lab technician who is specialized to do the blood gases. You require a specialized nutritionist. You require a specialized physiotherapy. You require another test who must be there. So basically, there is a lot when it comes to the reforms that we require to achieve the universal health coverage and what is enshrined in the Constitution. And that is why we are talking to the AG.
The AG and the Council of Governors. Of course, that was Jeremiah Maina, who's an aspirant for the Secretary General of the Kenya National Union of Nurses. There's just highlighting some of the issues that they're asking for harmonization of the profession of the nurses across the county. We shall continue talking about this discourse in the next few weeks, and we'll hopefully invite you back as well. For now, though, let's take a short commercial break, and we'll be back with the newspaper review. Good morning.